Okay, so very good evening, everyone. Thank you so very much for joining us again on another exciting Upgrade Mastery just for you. Yes, this is the Upgrade Mastery just for you. And we do this every Fridays, basically from 7 p.m. all through to 8 p.m. And we basically just get to have a good time, share our experiences from the week, the learnings, the challenges we faced, and how we've been able to overcome them. So, guys, how are you doing? How was your week? What did you do this week from Monday through Friday? What were the things that you did? What were the things you were able to accomplish for yourself? Let's talk about that. It's an amazing time we're going to have today on the conversation. And I can't wait for us to begin. How are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing, guys? We are live. We are live. We are live. We are live. Do well to invite your friends, your family, your loved ones, and even your enemies so they can be part of the where it is happening. It is happening live and direct on the Upgrade Mastery just for you. How was your week? This is another Friday. Thank God it's Friday. How was your week? What did you do this week? What were challenges you faced? How were you able to overcome those challenges? And let us know what stood out for you this week. This week, what stood out for you? What is that thing that made you feel like, oh, I had an amazing time this week? This week was phenomenal. This week was amazing. Tell me, would like to know, how was your week? My week was interesting. My week was fun. Had a lot of things I needed to do and able to do them. Yes, that's my week. Yeah, my week was interesting though. Yeah, had some things I needed to sort out, some things I needed to put in place. It was an amazing week nonetheless. And thank God it's weekend, so we can rest and prepare for the new week. But how was your week? This is Upgrade Mastery just for you. How was your week? What did you do this week? What stood out for you in everything that happened in this week? Like, what were challenges you faced? How were you able to overcome them? I'd like to know. I'd like to hear from you how your week went and what were the amazing things that made your week stand out. I'd like to know from you how your week has been. So, the week is quite interesting, right? We're on the second week of May 2026. The year is going gradually. This is the fifth month, and many things you hope to achieve in 2026. Where are you on those things? Are you hitting your goals, or are you still procrastinating, or are you getting ready to achieve those things that you really want to achieve for yourself in 2026? I'd like to know about it. So we talk about it, right? And if you do need help, you do need counsel, you do need somebody who can hold your hand and walk you through in the things that you need to do, then you are in the right place. Send us a message, leave a comment, send an email, and we'll be glad to hold your hand so we can walk this path together, right? And yeah, this week, I think I got an amazing news this week on my Instagram, and I got a notification that my Facebook has been monetized. Now, let me tell you how this is quite interesting. I've left Facebook for like 2 years, or no, like 3 years. After my account got hacked in 2023, I never went back to Facebook, right? So I left Facebook. And then I got a notification today on my Instagram that my Facebook has been monetized. And I'm like, really? What's happening? My Facebook monetized? Anyways, things happen. But we're grateful all the same. We're grateful. Thank you, Mark Zuckerberg, for that, for the monetization. We are grateful. It's not about the money, though. It's about the impact that we are making and the lives that we are touching. Okay, so let's tell me about your week. I'd like to know about your week, the things you have been about, the challenges you faced, and what has stood out for you this week? Tell me in the comment, what has stood out for you this week that you can look back and say, oh, this really made sense for me this week. I'm glad that I did this. I'm glad that I did this. How was your week for you? Today, there's something I really want us to talk about. Last week we talked about gratitude attitude, why we said it was very important and very critical that you become a person of gratitude. We said that last week, gratitude attitude. We hope that you learned something from that conversation And yeah, last week, gratitude attitude. Amazing conversation, amazing stuff, amazing conversation we had last week. So this week, we are taking it up a notch. And this week, we're going to be talking about stop doing bare minimum, right? I think the series we've been doing lately, oh, great week. Yes, great week for you. I think the series we've been doing lately has just been something to help you reflect more about yourself because sometimes what people try to do, people try to put blame on others and not take responsibility for themselves. But one of the things that I've discovered is that as a person, you must learn to take responsibility for yourself, right? You cannot blame anyone for your irresponsibility. You have to take responsibility for yourself, for your life, for everything that concerns you. It is your responsibility, right? So, one of the things that we try to do is to ensure that we help you learn how important it is that you are taking responsibility for yourself, right? And one of the things that you get to do when it comes to taking responsibility for yourself is realizing that you cannot afford to do bare minimum, right? You cannot afford to do bare minimum. And when we say bare minimum, what comes to your mind? We live in a generation and we live in a world where it's okay for people to do bare minimum. It's okay for people to be average. It's okay for people to be mediocre. It's okay for people to just have the commune syndrome, right? When they do things, they say, oh, commune doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. And I often say this, that what doesn't matter can soon become matter arising. Are you getting this? Whatever you think, oh, it doesn't matter, can quickly become matter arising, right? So now, why are we saying stop doing bare minimum? Because there are people who are good at doing bare minimum. Now, let's say somebody asks you to do XYZ, right? And then you actually do XYZ without going the extra mile, or you don't even do XYZ. That's bare minimum. And we are saying, do not do bare minimum. If you must do it with excellence, or don't do it at all. But don't do bare minimum. And I'm going to share with you 5 reasons to stop doing bare minimum. Now, when you're doing bare minimum, you may feel like, oh, I'm just doing whatever it is I have to do. I'm not stressing myself. I'm just not going to push it. I'll just do it the way I should and leave it. But what you don't realize is that doing that bare minimum affects you so much than you realize. Now, if you know how much it affects you, then you will no longer be doing bare minimum. Are you getting this? When you know how much it affects you, you will no longer be doing bare minimum. It's because you don't know how much your bare minimum is affecting you. That's why you're doing it. Are you getting this? Is this making sense? Because you don't know how it affects you. And today, I'm going to share with you 5 ways doing bare minimum affects you. And if perhaps after this conversation, you still continue to do bare minimum, then it's on you. Are you getting this? I'm going to share with you 5 ways that doing the bare minimum affects you. 5 simple ways. Are you ready? So let's begin. The first way doing the bare minimum affects you is that it hinders your growth. So number 1, it hinders your growth. I just type that in the comments. It hinders your growth. Now, when we say it hinders your growth, what do we mean? When you are going the extra mile, it is stretching you. It is pushing you out of your comfort zone. It is exposing you to much more. But when you are doing bare minimum, you are not going to experience these things I just shared. Let's say, for example, you were told to, let's say you were told to reach 20 persons, right? You were told to reach 20 persons about a particular product or a service. Now, bare minimum would be like, oh, I was able to reach 10. I couldn't reach 20, but I was able to reach 10. I tried. You know, when people say I tried, it says a lot about them than whatever it is that they tried to do. Because you cannot say you tried. You tried bare minimum. So let's say you were asked to reach 20 persons with your product or with your service, and then you reach 10. You say, oh, I did half the number. Look at perspective, half empty, half full. You reach 10. But look at it. 10 is bare minimum. Reaching 20 is okay. But you were told to reach 20 and you reach 30. That's going the extra mile. And you see, in reaching 30, you would experience much more growth than when you did 10. So you see, when we say that doing the bare minimum, it hinders your growth, you are seeing how it is stopping you from growing, from learning, from becoming all that you can be, because you are doing the bare minimum. So with this, it lets you know that doing the bare minimum is to your disadvantage. Are you getting this? Doing the bare minimum is to your disadvantage, because whatever hinders your growth is a disadvantage to you. Are you getting this? So I want you to think, what ways have you done bare minimum before now? Right? I want you to tell me in the comments, what ways have you done bare minimum before now? And let me show you how that bare minimum you did hindered your growth. So I want you to type in the comments. Let me know what way that you have done bare minimum before, and how, and then I will tell you how that bare minimum that you did hindered your growth. Type in the comment. I want to see. Tell me one way you have done bare minimum before. Let's be honest, right? Be brutally honest. That's before. I know you're doing better now. But tell me one way you did bare minimum before. What was something that you were supposed to do and you know? Another thing I want you to understand is this. When you are doing bare minimum, you know that you're doing bare minimum. Are you getting this? You know that you're doing bare minimum. You know that you're not putting in the effort as you should. You know that you are not going the extra mile as you could. So you know, you yourself, you know that you're doing bare minimum. So I want to tell me in the comments what one way you have done bare minimum before now, and I will tell you how that you did hindered your growth. Because I said the number one reason why you should stop doing bare minimum is because it hinders your growth. Because you see, with growth comes stretching. Growth will stretch you. Okay. Sunshine says, an assignment, instead of doing a proper research with citation, I just did it as an essay. Fantastic. Now, I love this. You are supposed to do your assignment and do proper research with citations, right? But instead, you just did it as an essay. Now, let me show you how this that you did hindered your growth. One of the things that would have stopped you from learning is the fact that you will not learn how to do proper research. You will not learn how to do citation alongside the research. So you see, when we say bare minimum hinders your growth, this is what we are talking about. So you were given an assignment, and instead of you to do proper research with citations, you just did an essay. Now, you would have submitted the essay. You would have felt you did the assignment, but you did bare minimum, and look at how it hindered your growth. You would not have learned how to do proper research. You would not have learned how to attach citations to the research. That's what happens when you do bare minimum. So it hinders your own growth. There are things you learn as a result of stretching yourself. Thank you for the comment. There are things you learn as a result of stretching yourself. There are things you learn as a result of pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. But when you do bare minimum, you remain in your comfort zone, you don't push yourself, you don't take any risk. Are you getting this? So this is why we say bare minimum is not something you should be considering. Are you getting this? Bare minimum is not something you should be considering because it hinders your growth. Are you getting this? Is this making sense? Right? Bare minimum hinders your growth. Somebody else give me another example before I move to the next point. Give me another example of how you have done bare minimum before now, and I will show you how that bare minimum that you did hindered your growth. So give me an example. So when you give me the example, I will now show you how the bare minimum you did has hindered your own growth. Give me another example. I love the first example. Thank you. You've given an assignment. Instead of you to do proper research with citations, you just did an essay. Right? And you see, you have submitted the assignment, essay format, without doing proper research, without putting the citations alongside the research. So which means, even though you submitted the assignment, you have not learned how to do research. You have not learned how to do citations alongside your research. So that has not helped you to grow. I know the beautiful thing about growth is you can't skip the classes of growth. Somebody write that down. Growth, you can't skip the classes. You know, if you are in a university, for instance, you can skip some classes, right? And then you eventually go write the exam. But you see, the class of growth, you can't skip classes. It will be waiting for you till you come back to take the class. Are you getting this? Growth classes cannot be skipped. You can't skip it. You can't skip it. You will come back and take it. Whether now or in the future. Growth class is always carried over. You cannot skip it. You can't skip the classes of growth. You cannot. You cannot. You may ignore the class. You may not attend the class, but you can't skip it. You will come back and take the class. You will come back. So if you are doing bare minimum, I wish I could get water right now. If you are doing bare minimum, you are only delaying the time you would have used in your growth journey. You are delaying the time because you will come back and take those growth classes. You come back. Like you will come back and take it. You can't skip growth classes. Is this making sense? Right? Is this making sense? Yeah, making sense. Fantastic. You can't skip the classes of growth. You cannot. No matter how hard you try, you cannot skip the classes of growth. Now, the first point is that it hinders your growth. Right? Do you understand that point now? Let me tell you the second point. Right? The second point. That's why we say stop doing the bare minimum. Point number one, it hinders your growth. Point number two, it stops your creativity. You see, when you start to do bare minimum, it stops you from being creative. In the world that we live in today, creativity is a superpower. In fact, creativity is your superpower. When you are creative, it helps you to look at things differently. But when you are doing bare minimum, you are doing copy and paste. Are you getting this? With bare minimum, you just do copy and paste. No creativity. That's why you see sometimes some people, even when they copy from AI, you will still see the AI references. You see where AI is saying, do you want me to ask for that? You see it because they just copied and they pasted. No creativity. They say amateur artists copy, great artists they steal. Why? Because they steal and include creativity to it. So when you are doing bare minimum, guess what's happening to you? It stops your creativity. So instead of you to think outside the box, you are just doing copy and paste. So you're not thinking. In fact, they say don't think outside the box, think like there is no box. So you're not even thinking at all. So it stops your creativity. So, you know, I don't know how many of you have ever sat on an idea and you pondered on that idea for a long time. You start to see how your creative mind begins to work. I don't know how many of you have ever experienced that. You sat on an idea for a while, and then suddenly your mind opened up. You're starting to see areas, angles, different things that you did not think about before, because now your creativity is awakened. Are you getting this? Your creativity is awakened. That's why we say don't do bare minimum, because when you do bare minimum, it stops your creativity. Now you see, sometimes you don't need to reinvent the wheel. I get it. You don't need to reinvent the wheel, but you can be creative about what is already existing. Are you getting this? You can be creative about what is already existing. So you don't have to start from scratch. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. No. Just sit on the idea. I'm down on it. Him that asked making sense to us. Everybody saw the apple fall. It was only him that asked why. And that's how he figured out the law of gravity. Are you getting this? So you must understand how these things work. Doing the bare minimum, it stops your creativity. So things that you would have been creative about, but because you are doing the bare minimum, your creativity is shut down. Are you getting this? Because you are doing the bare minimum, your creativity is shut down. So you're not thinking creatively anymore. You're just saying, oh, this is how they've been doing it. Okay, let me just do it like this. That's why you see a lot of people, they copy other people they see online. You say, oh, this is what other people are doing. I want to do the same. This is what other people are doing. I want to do the same. You see, in this era, a lot of people are doing podcasts. Oh, because you have a mic, you have somebody that that can be your guest, and then you are talking, you are doing podcasts. But even if you want to do podcasts, what will be creative about your podcast? What will be creative about your podcast? But because you are doing bare minimum, you will do podcasts like you have seen other people do podcasts. You hang your microphone, you have a guest, you have somebody who's videoing, and then you are talking. You talk for 1 hour or 30 minutes. You also put it out on YouTube because you are doing bare minimum. Why does your podcast have to be one of those podcasts that we already know? Why is yours not different? Why is yours not approaching it in a different way? Because you are not applying your creativity. You are doing bare minimum. And this is why we are having this conversation right now to say, stop doing bare minimum. Yes, before now you do bare minimum, but not anymore. Stop it. Because this is what it is doing to you. Number one, we said it hinders your growth. When you do bare minimum, it hinders your growth. Number two, it stops your creativity. When you do bare minimum, you are no longer creative. You are just doing copy and paste. Just doing copy and paste. And when you do copy and paste, guess what you end up becoming? You're becoming a photocopy of an original. And you know, people will always know the difference between the photocopy and the original. Don't be the Pepsi to someone else's Coke. Be your own beverage. Don't be the Pepsi to somebody else's Coke. Be an original. Apply your creativity. Yes, you may have borrowed the idea. You may have even stolen the idea, but you can refine it with your creativity. You know, Michael Jackson is renowned for the steps, the moonwalk, right? He's renowned for the moonwalk step. But Michael Jackson was not the creator of the moonwalk. Michael Jackson only included his creativity to the moonwalk. Are you getting this? Michael Jackson wasn't the one who originated moonwalk. He saw it, he liked it, he copied it and put his creativity into it. Are you getting this? So, if you do bare minimum, you only just copy and paste. But if you are not doing bare minimum, you will copy and infuse your creativity to what you copied, and it becomes something different. Are you getting this? You know, in the 2010 World Cup that was hosted by South Africa, Shakira did the song Waka Waka, right? But that Waka Waka song was not an original song from Shakira. She copied it from some people who did it back in the 80s, and she added her creativity. And Waka Waka today is a global anthem. Zamina mina, waka waka, zamina mina. You understand? She added her creativity to it. So this is why we said don't do bare minimum, because it will stop your creativity. It will stop it. So you see, the reason why you have not been as creative as you should is because you are doing bare minimum. You're just doing copy and paste. You're just copying from AI and using. No! You are smarter than your AI. I'll say that again to you. You are smarter than your AI. You are super intelligentsia. I get this. You are super intelligentsia. You're smarter than your AI. But when you are doing bare minimum, it looks like your AI is smarter than you. That's why I keep telling us, let's not become a generation of smartphones, yet dumb people. Are you getting this? Let us not become a generation of smartphones, yet dumb people. Because we'll become dumb when we are doing the bare minimum. We'll become dumb. We'll become dumb. Right? So the first reason to stop doing the bare minimum is because it hinders your growth. The second reason to stop doing the bare minimum is because it stops your creativity. Why will you be creative when all you can do is copy and paste? Are you getting this? Why will you be creative when all you can do is copy and paste? You know, I read of the documentary of the fast-moving bullet train that the Chinese created. Now, they got that mouth, that shape of mouth for the train from a bird. They saw how the bird would hit the water and the water will splash. So they shaped the train, the mouth of the train, to look like the mouth of the bird. And then the train would go with that speed. Why? They were not doing bare minimum. So because they were not doing bare minimum, it unlocked their creativity. Look at most of the fighter jets that they create. You look at it, and it looks like the shape of some birds. They are not doing bare minimum. And because they're not doing bare minimum, it unlocks their creativity. So you see, when you are doing bare minimum, you think you are doing whoever you are doing bare minimum for. No, it's to your own detriment because it will stop your creativity. In the parable of the talent, in Matthew 25, the servant that was given 1 talent was doing bare minimum. In fact, he didn't even do bare minimum. He did less than the bare minimum because the master told him that since you know I'm a hard man, I like to reap what I do not sow. The bare minimum would have been you put my money in the bank, put the talent in the bank, so at least we yield interest. So the bare minimum is to put money in the bank. What does that tell you about savings? The bare minimum is to have savings. Going over and beyond is to have investment. Are you getting this? Is this making sense? Bare minimum is to have savings. Right? Going over and beyond is to now start having investment. Because the master told the servant with 1 talent, he said, you could have at least put the talent in the bank and there will be interest. That is bare minimum. But the servant did less than bare minimum because he buried the talent in the ground. So you see, there are people who are doing bare minimum and there are others who are doing less than bare minimum. Which are you? There are those who are doing bare minimum. There are those who are doing less than bare minimum. And the essence of this conversation today is that you will stop doing bare minimum. So, if you are being honest with yourself, where are you right now? Are you doing bare minimum? Or you are doing less than bare minimum? Or you are doing above bare minimum? Which one are you? Category 1, bare minimum. Category 2, less than bare minimum. Category 3, above bare minimum. Tell me which category are you? Are you 1, are you 2, or are you 3? Tell me in the comments. I'd like to know. While we go to number 3 points of stop doing bare minimum. Number 3 is that I'm waiting for you to tell me which one you are. Category 1, category 2, or category 3. Which one are you? Are you category 1? Are you category 2? Or are you category 3? Category 1, bare minimum. Category 2, less than bare minimum. And category 3, above bare minimum. Which category are you? Okay, someone says bare minimum are easy and they seem not to make an exceptional person. So true. Thank you so much for this. Bare minimum are easy and they don't make an exceptional person. That's the truth. You will never be exceptional with bare minimum. You can never be exceptional. And I love this. Ifoma says she's in category 1, bare minimum. And that's why we are here today to say stop doing bare minimum. Stop it. Stop it. Because you can do more. You can be more. Why settle for less? Like I say, why settle for smallness when you are designed for greatness? Think about it. Why settle for smallness when you are designed for greatness? Why settle for smallness? Why? So point number 3. Why you should stop doing bare minimum is that you will not give 120%. Now, I guess you may be wondering, why are you talking about 120% when people are not even be able to give 100%? Let me tell you, the new average is giving 100%. Are you getting this? The new average is giving 100%. You know, in school, right? In school, they say an A is from 70 marks and above. So somebody who scores 70 gets an A. Somebody who scores 98 gets an A. So somehow it makes people feel like If I do 100%, I'm good. No, you're not good. 100% is the new bare minimum. 100% is the new bare minimum. You should be doing 120%, which means you are going over and beyond. You are going over and beyond. Jesus is Lord. Hey, Salubwa. Jesus is Lord. I'm just saying this. So you're going over and beyond. Are you getting this? You're going over and beyond. So you need to give 120%, not 100%. You need to give 120%, not 100%. Yeah, still have the categories. Sunshine says she's number one, bare minimum. See, why we are saying you should not do bare minimum is because when you start to give bare minimum, it becomes a habit and a pattern for you. You start experiencing commune. It doesn't matter. After all, I tried. After all, I showed up. So you see, you're no longer saying, I did not give my best. You're not saying, after all, I did something. No. It is either you give your best or you don't give at all. You know, when Jesus was talking about the people who gave, he said that the woman who gave her 2 mites, she gave her best than others who gave much more. Which means Jesus was literally telling us, don't do bare minimum with God. Why was Cain's sacrifice rejected and Abel's sacrifice accepted? Abel gave his best. Cain gave bare minimum. Because in Genesis chapter 4, verse 6, God came and told Cain, he says, if thou doest well, shall thou not be accepted. And remember what Ecclesiastes says, Ecclesiastes 9:10, it says, whatsoever your hands find to do, do well. In this case, doing something well is doing 120%, not 100%. It's going over and beyond, not 100%. Like I said when we started, if they tell you to invite 20 persons, and then you go ahead and invite 10 persons, you will say, oh, you try after all. Power outage. I need to, give me a minute, guys. Let me turn on the power source. Give me a minute. We're just going to continue like this. Apologies. The generator just wouldn't start. So, anyways, we'll move. Okay, so like I was saying, when you're doing something and you're giving 100%, that's bare minimum. You should be giving 120%. 100% is the new average. You cannot be doing 100%. You should be doing 120%. You should be doing 120%, not 100%. Now, that's bare minimum. That is literally bare minimum. You should be doing 120%. So what are we saying right now? We are saying when you are doing bare minimum, it stops you from giving your best. I told you about Cain. God told Cain, Genesis 4:6. He says, if thou doest well, shall thou not be accepted? If thou doest well, shall thou not be accepted? And I told you in Exodus 9:10, it says, or 10:9, it says, whatsoever your hand finds to do, do it well. And well is doing it 120%, not 100%. Because 100% is the new average. Yes, 100% is the new average. When they say you are going the extra mile, when they say, oh, you are doing too much, if you are not being told you are doing too much, it's because you are doing bare minimum. See, until people start to tell you you are doing too much, if you are not being told you are doing too much, it's because you are doing bare minimum. Are you getting this? So you must go to that point where they begin to say you are doing too much. Yes, that's when you know that, yes, I've crossed doing bare minimum. I'm not doing bare minimum anymore because now I'm doing too much. Like we said, you won't give 120% if you are doing bare minimum. You won't give 120%. You will not give 120%. If you are doing bare minimum, you will not give 120%. Now, so I've told you 3 reasons why you should stop doing bare minimum. Number 1, I said that it hinders your growth, right? Number 2, I've said that it stops your creativity. Number 3, I've said that you would not give 120%. So you see, when you are doing bare minimum, who loses? It's you. You know, people used to think that when they are doing bare minimum, it's the person they are doing the bare minimum to that suffers. No, it is you that suffer. It's you that suffer, not the person. It's you. So when you're doing bare minimum, you should change yourself. You put yourself at a disadvantage. So you're the one who's going to suffer for it. You're the one who's going to suffer for it. So the third reason why you should not do bare minimum is because you won't give 120%. So what is life when you cannot give your all? And you see, we serve a God, for those of us who are believers, we serve a God who doesn't do bare minimum. Scripture says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only. Now, if he had many sons and he gave one, remember the Bible in 2 Samuel 12 that Nathan gave to David about the man in his kingdom who had one sheep, and the man in the kingdom who had many sheep. And the man in the kingdom who had many sheep went to take the sheep of the man who had one sheep. And David was enraged. And Prophet Nathan said, calm down, be calming down. You are that man. You had all the women in Israel. And if you had wanted more, you would have been given. Yet you went to take Uriah's wife, Bathsheba. Now, why am I using that analogy? So let you know that when you don't give your best, when you do bare minimum, you are the one who suffer for it. You're the one who suffer for it. It's not the person you are doing it to that suffer. It's you that suffer for it. And because of what David did to Uriah, He had calamity upon calamity in his house. His own child raped his own child. Tamar raped Amnon. Amnon raped Tamar. Right? His own son, Absalom, rebelled against him. The child from the pregnancy, the first pregnancy of Bathsheba, died. So David had calamity upon calamity. So you see, when you don't give your best, right? When you don't give your best, it's your own detriment. It's your own detriment. You say, oh no, I'm doing them. They're not going to see the best of me. People don't need to deserve the best of you for you to give the best of you. Let that sink in. People don't need to deserve the best of you for you to give the best of you. Because you have made up your mind that you will never do bare minimum. It's either you don't give your best or you don't give at all. But if you must give your best. And your best is 120%. Not 100%. Not even 50%. It's 120%. Are you getting this? This is making sense. Now, the fourth reason why you should stop doing bare minimum. The fourth reason is that, who can guess? Who can guess? The fourth reason why you should stop giving your bare minimum. It's simple. You will settle for average and mediocrity. When you are doing bare minimum, guess what you are settling for? You are settling for average. You are settling for mediocrity. You are rewiring your mind for average and mediocrity. You are rewiring your mind for average and mediocrity. So you see why you should not be doing bare minimum. Because you cannot do differently what you're already used to. So when you are used to giving bare minimum, you have now become average and mediocre. That has become a norm for you. That has become a norm for you. So you are okay being average. You are okay being a mediocre. It has become normal for you. So you have settled for mediocrity. You have settled for average. And like I often say, that average don't win awards. Excuses don't pay bills. When you are doing bare minimum, you have settled for average. You have settled for mediocrity. In the world that we live in today, mediocrity will not stand you out. It will stand you out for mediocrity. In the world that we live in today, nobody recognizes average. There's the saying that be phenomenal or be forgotten. There's no place for be average and be remembered. It's be phenomenal or be forgotten. There's no place for be average and be remembered. Most of the things that you remember today, you remember them because they were phenomenal. You may say, oh, I remember something because it was average. Over time, that memory won't stick. I get it. Somebody may be fooling themselves. Yes, you may laugh about it, but that memory won't stick. But something that is phenomenal, something that is out of this world, that memory sticks and it lingers. Are you getting this? So when you don't give the bare minimum, you will never give anything average or mediocre. You always do excellence. You always do excellence. Are you getting this? You always be excellent because you are not doing bare minimum. For bare minimum, you'll be average. For bare minimum, you'll be mediocre. So you settle for it. You're not pushing yourself. You're not trying to stress yourself. You're just okay. You know, they're saying that Sometimes you have to get sick and tired of being sick and tired. Have you ever heard that? That you have to get tired, you have to get sick and tired of being sick and tired. Because a lot of people have settled for average. They're okay with average. They're okay with being mediocre. But that should not be you. You shouldn't settle for average. I told us earlier, why settle for smallness when you were designed for greatness? Think about it. Why settle for smallness when you were designed for greatness? But you see, when you do bare minimum, you will settle for average. You will settle for mediocrity. You will settle. Right? You settle. And then the fifth point, I told you I'm going to share with you 5 points today. The fifth point, why you should stop doing the bare minimum. Fifth point. I like this fifth point a lot. You know why? You'll see why very soon. The fifth point why you should stop giving the bare minimum is this. You become like everybody else. See, whether you believe it or not, a majority of the population are doing bare minimum. In fact, a majority of the population are doing less than the bare minimum. In the Bible of the talent, the servants who were given 5 talents and 2 talents, they did not do bare minimum. They went above bare minimum. That's why they got 5 more and 2 more. The one who was given 1 talent did below bare minimum because he did not even put the talent in the bank so he can get interest. He buried it. So you see, when you don't stop doing bare minimum, guess what happens to you? You become like everybody else. There's nothing distinguishing you from others. There's nothing that sets you apart from others. There's nothing that makes you different from others. You become like everybody else. When you are doing bare minimum, you become like everybody else. You are not outstanding. You are not standing out. You are not the standard because you are like everybody else. This is why you should not be doing bare minimum. Because when you are doing bare minimum, you become like everybody else. Those of you in uni, you know there are some people that you can never trust to be your group for group assignments. Again, there are some people you can never trust to be your group to deliver on your group assignment. In fact, people avoid some people when it comes to group assignments because they know that those people, they will do bare minimum. They won't even show up. You see, when you do bare minimum, you become like everybody else because the majority of the population are doing bare minimum. People used to think that when they are going over and beyond, they are doing too much. No, you are not doing too much. You are just doing the needful. See, when you are going over and beyond, you are not doing too much. You are just doing the needful. There's a difference between doing too much and doing the needful. You're not doing too much. I say that again. You're not doing too much. You are just doing the needful. But you see, because a majority of the population are doing bare minimum, they'll come and tell you that, oh, you are doing too much. They'll even tell you, oh, don't put it on your head, put it on your shoulder. So don't put it on your head. Don't carry it on your head, put it on your shoulder. So in case it's too heavy, you can drop it. It's because they are doing bare minimum. Remember the old saying that misery loves company. Because they are doing bare minimum, they want you to be like them, to also do bare minimum. You know that there are people who hate you because you refuse to do bare minimum. That's why they hate you. Because you refuse to do bare minimum. That's why they hate you, because you are making them see that they could do better, but they don't want to. So they hate you for it. Why are you this excellent? Why are you this good? So they hate you for it. But I've come to tell you today that regardless, you should stop doing bare minimum. And I've shared with you 5 reasons why you should stop doing bare minimum. Number 1, it hinders your growth. I'll just take it all over again, and then we'll take some questions. Right? Number 1, why you stop doing bare minimum? It hinders your growth. Number 2, it stops your creativity. Number 3, you won't give 100%. Scratch that. You won't give 120%. That's it. Number 3, you won't give 120%. And then number 4, you settle for average and mediocrity. When you do bare minimum, you settle for average and mediocrity. And then number 5, you become like everybody else. There's nothing different about you. There's nothing unique to you. There's nothing special about you, because you have become like everybody else because you are doing bare minimum. So with these 5 points, have you come to realize that doing bare minimum hurts you more than whoever you think you are doing bare minimum to? Did you get that? Doing bare minimum, it hurts you more than whoever you think you are doing bare minimum to. So you see, bare minimum is to your disadvantage than your advantage. So you don't stand to gain anything when you do bare minimum. Say, okay, I'm not going to show myself. No, you are not showing yourself. You're only just doing the needful. Are you getting this? You're not showing yourself. You're just doing the needful. So this is why we've come today to share this with you, that you should stop doing bare minimum. Stop it. You know, when I teach coaching classes, I tell people that you need to write down 3 things you need to stop, 3 things you need to start, and 3 skills that you need to learn. Now, I always say the things you need to stop first, because the things you don't stop will stop what you are trying to start. You get that? The things you don't stop will stop what you are trying to start. So that's what I'm saying. Stop doing bare minimum so you can start giving your best. Remember that old nursery rhyme? Good, better, best. I will never rest until my good is better and my better best. And Stevie Covey puts it best when he says, the enemy of your great is good. The reason why some people have not become excellent as they should be is because they are doing bare minimum. That's the reason. Because the enemy of your great is good. Good is bare minimum. That's the truth. Good is bare minimum. Good is bare minimum. But you are not called to do bare minimum. You are called to go over and beyond. You are called to go above bare minimum. So guys, this is the conversation for today. We'd like to take a few questions before we call it a wrap for now. Let's take a few questions before we call it a wrap for now. Right? 1 or 2 questions, and then we'll call it a wrap for now. Apologies for the power, right? I turned on the gen before, and then they restored power, and then they took power, and then I'm going to turn on the gen won't come on. So I just had to do this without the necessary power. So I apologize for the lighting. Don't worry. Right? This is us trying not to do bare minimum. Right? I apologize for the lightning. Right? Okay. So let's take this again. Let's go over this. 5 reasons why you should not do bare minimum. Number 1, it hinders your growth. Number 2, it stops your creativity. Number 3, you will not give 100%, 120%. Number 4, you settle for average and mediocrity. And number 5, you become like everybody else. Because everybody else, they give bare minimum. Everybody else give bare minimum. right? The difference between Cain and Abel was that Abel gave his best, Cain gave bare minimum. And God came to tell Cain, he says, if thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted. Which means God is not expecting you to do bare minimum. God is expecting you to give your best. Again, this, God is not expecting you to do bare minimum. God is expecting you to give your best. That's why you can come as you are, but you don't remain as you are. Are you getting this? You come as you are, but you don't remain as you are. Because God is not expecting you to do anything less than your best. Are you getting this? He's not expecting you to do anything less than your best. Because he deserves your best, not your bare minimum. He deserves your best. That's why Jesus commended the widow that gave her 2 mites. She gave her best. So that's to tell you that there's commendation for your best. There's reward for your best. There's appreciation for your best. There's nothing for bare minimum. There's nothing. There's nothing for bare minimum. So which would you rather do? Bare minimum or your best? The question is yours to answer. And it is not rhetorical. It's a question that demands an answer. Which would you rather do? Bare minimum or do your best? And my charge for you is that you do your best and don't do bare minimum. That's the whole essence of this conversation, to stop doing bare minimum. If no one will tell you, I will tell you. Stop doing bare minimum. Stop it. It is to your own disadvantage. It is to your own demerit. So stop doing the bare minimum. So guys, this is it. This is where we draw the curtain for today. I hope you've learned something. I hope this has been worth your while. Thank you so much for joining. We always encourage you to please do well to share this with your friends, your families, your loved ones, and even your enemies, so that they too can be part of the conversation. We always say there's always more on the upgrade side of life. And that's why we keep encouraging you that you leave good behind so that you can upgrade. And what better way for you to upgrade than for you to give your best and for you to stop doing bare minimum. Stop doing bare minimum. You gain nothing when you do bare minimum, but you lose everything when you do bare minimum. So please, please stop doing bare minimum. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you.